Nicole, when was the last time you listened to your gut?
I always do, because we know there's a lot of misleading health advice out there, and most of what we're taught about food is wrong. Did you know that Big Food even pays TikTok influencers to say that ultra-processed foods are healthy? Well, they're not.
My God, that is shocking. It's no wonder that 1 in 8 people globally, by the way, that's over 1 billion people if you don't want to do the maths, are living with obesity.
Our sponsor Zoe understands that our health is suffering, and it's time we listened to our gut.
They make your gut health their business. And as we've learnt in over 5 years of doing this pod, gut health is key to overall health.
Your Zoe membership starts by testing your gut health, backed by one of the world's largest microbiome databases and most scientifically advanced at-home gut health tests. Zoe gives you proven science whenever you need it.
Listen, we know better than anyone else being in the self-care space that the start of every new year is noisy with health advice that is often just full of hot air and rubbish. But Zoe is the solution that you can trust.
Zoe is the science and nutrition company leading a movement to transform the health of millions, and Zoe membership has been proven by a randomized controlled trial, giving you the solutions to listen to your gut, make smarter food choices, and change your health for life.
Go to Zoe.com and find out what Zoe membership could do for you. And because you listen to Self-Care Club, you can use the exclusive code SELFCARE10 to get 10% off membership. As a Zoe member, you'll get an at-home test kit and personalised nutrition programme to help you make smarter food choices that support your gut. That's Zoe.com. Use code SELFCARE10 at checkout. Trust your gut. Trust Zoe.
When you think about super successful businesses that are selling through the roof like Heinz or Mattel, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But there's a secret. The business behind the business, making selling simple for them and buying simple for their customers. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout as Heinz and Mattel. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/promo, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/promo to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/promo.
This episode is brought to you by Peacock. The new Peacock original documentary, Matthew Perry, A Hollywood Tragedy, dives deep into the beloved actor's rise to fame and his tragic death. 5 people, including Perry's personal assistant, 2 medical doctors, and an alleged Hollywood drug dealer known as the Ketamine Queen, were charged with conspiracy to illegally provide Perry with the ketamine. Explore the details of the case in this heartbreaking special, streaming now only on Peacock.
This episode is sponsored by Zoe. Hello, clubbers. Do you know that Self-Care Club and 40ish, our other podcast, have a subscription?
Well, we are here to tell you that we do. It's on Apple Podcasts, and you can find it there. All you have to do is click on our show and just scroll down, and you will see the subscription there. And for $3.99 a month, you get early access, bonus episodes, and everything ad-free. So please come along and join us.
And for the next 2 weeks only, we have halved the price of an annual subscription. So if you want a real bargain, go over now whilst the half price sale is still on.
Hello, clubbers, and happy International Women's Day. I'm Nicole Goodman.
And I'm Lauren Mishcon, and this is Self-Care Club. Today is International Women's Day 2025, a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural and political achievements of women and a call to action for accelerating gender equality. Marked annually on March the 8th every year, International Women's Day isn't country, group or organisation specific. It's a day of collective global activism and celebration that belongs to everyone who is committed to forging gender equality.
Nice. And actually what you will have noticed is that we are releasing this a couple of days early, so it is in line with International Women's Day.
Yay!
We didn't want to be irrelevant, did we?
Never.
No point in releasing it on the Monday, because then it's the 10th of March.
And it's not International Women's Day anymore.
Well, it should be.
Should be International Women's Day every day.
Yeah. It is in my house because I have so many women living in my house.
It's certainly not in my house because it's just the one vagina.
Lucky you.
I know.
World-renowned feminist, journalist and activist Gloria Steinem reportedly once explained, the story of women's struggle for equality belongs to no single feminist, nor to any one organisation, but to the collective efforts of all who care about human rights.
International Women's Day is about gender equality in every form. For some, it's about fighting for women's rights, reinforcing key commitments or celebrating success. And for others, it might mean festive gatherings or parties. All activity can help contribute to and form part of the thriving global movement focused on women's advancement.
But do we still need an International Women's Day in 2025? Well, unfortunately, yes, we do. The theme for 2025 is Accelerate Action. And according to the World Economic Forum, at the current rate of progress, it will take until, wait for it, 2158.
Wow.
Which is roughly 5 generations from now to reach full gender parity. That makes me want to sob into my water bottle.
Insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
But look how far we've come in the last 50 years.
Yes, hugely far. And actually, in the paper this weekend, they were saying for the first time ever, young men were at an economic disadvantage over young women, as in young women were actually earning more in the workplace when they start out than young men.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's got to be the first time that has been reported.
Yes, it is.
Or that data is showing that.
It is. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, I mean, it's great, but also the pendulum always needs to swing so far in order to get the right balance, doesn't it?
It has to swing so far one way in order to come back to somewhere that is central and better, right?
Yeah, exactly. Listen, as individuals, we can all take steps in our daily lives to positively impact women's advancement. We can call out stereotypes, challenge discrimination, question bias, and celebrate women's success, share our knowledge, and encourage others to do the same.
Yeah, and we hope that we do our little small part by running a podcast on women's wellness and sort of self-empowerment. I think we do we're a small part of the jigsaw. Corner square.
Think so.
I
don't know how much I challenge discrimination or question bias.
I think we are here for women's wellness, women's well-being, women's self-care, women's empowerment,
women's rights,
all those things.
I am
We do all
definitely
that in the show.
here for that. And I don't really understand people that aren't here for that.
I don't understand men that aren't here for that.
That's what I mean by all
Yeah.
people. And I often have conversations with people and I'm always sort of labelled the raging feminist. Well, I'm not just raging, I'm just a feminist.
Always raging. You always have to put raging in front of it. Otherwise, it's not even a thing.
Well, I think people just think that feminists have to be angry. But I kind of understand why they are.
They might have to be a little bit angry just to get their points across.
And to
sometimes.
get movement happening,
Yeah.
right? And I always say, my answer is always the same. Well, why aren't you a feminist? Why wouldn't you want equal rights? That to me is, it's an obvious thing. It's an obvious way to feel about something.
Of course. Of course it is. So in celebration of today, Nicole and I have decided to share advice to our younger selves and talk about the women who inspire us. I'm curious to know the women that inspire you because I just feel like
Are we starting there?
it's going to be different. I don't know. Do you want to start with the letter or the inspiring women?
Oh,
I
we're
don't
here.
mind.
Let's start with the inspiring women.
Okay.
Well, when we were thinking about what we can do for International Women's Day, because we've had 5 years of International
We
Women's
have.
Days, and we've done quite a few different lovely shows on them, but we always like to mark International Women's Day because it's really, really important. And we've done sisterhood circles. We've done writing letters to women of inspiration, haven't
Yes.
we? We both cried
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
I wrote to my children and you wrote to
Lily Ebert, she's a Holocaust survivor.
a Holocaust survivor. That was right.
Yeah.
Your letter was amazing. I think it's one of the only times I've ever seen you cry.
Ha!
We've done many things to celebrate this. So when we were sitting down thinking about, okay, well, how can we mark it? What sort of podcast, what sort of content do we want to put out there for this? So we decided to write a letter to our younger selves.
Yes.
And we also wanted to talk about the women that we really admire. And I've really thought about long and hard about that, about who I wanted to bring here.
Well, come on then.
Well, we started off with 3 women, and then I was like, do we have to do 3? Could we just do 2? Anyway, I have got 3 in mind, and I went sort of backwards and forwards with it, with who I wanted to bring. And I've decided to bring 3 people that I know.
Oh, okay.
Because the famous people that I admire, I think it's kind of obvious why I admire them.
Give me one.
Like Gloria Steinem, for example.
Yeah.
Right. It's obvious why why she's very admirable and inspiring and all of the amazing things that she's done for women's rights. Obviously, I feel very grateful and lucky that she has done all of the work that she has done so that I get to live how I get to live.
Sure.
So,
all the way back to Emmeline Pankhurst. We've got to start with her.
I'm saying all these women that it felt very obvious.
Yeah.
It's an obvious thing to bring. So I didn't want to do that. So there are 3 people I want to bring. I haven't asked for their consent as to whether I can talk about them. So I'm going to keep it fairly anonymous.
Oh, okay.
As anonymous as I can.
Okay.
I'll start with a very good friend of mine.
Okay.
And I've watched her grow from strength to strength since, I've only known her since we've been mums together. She has 3 kids. She is the head of 2 schools.
Is it me?
Unless you're head of 2 schools. She runs 2 schools in primary ages. And she manages her life in such a way that is so inspiring and admirable. I don't know. I honestly, for the life of me, don't know how she manages everything. And what she only brings to these kids' lives, not just her own kids, but the kids that she looks after in the education system. And the stories that she tells me, and the stories I've been told from people whose kids go to her school is astounding. She is such an advocate for the underdog. She is such an advocate for kids that aren't thriving. She has such an incredible approach to the younger generation, and how she helps them is just, I'm in awe of her. And she does it all with a smile on her face. She's never overwhelmed. It's never too much. She's a very present mum. She's an incredibly devoted wife. And I just think that she has an amazing approach to life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she's my first one.
Okay.
She'll probably kill me for saying this. When I send her this, she'll probably be like, oh, it's just... The second one is a family member of mine. And she has had to overcome a lot of health issues. And she has done it. And I mean, she's had so many operations, and she has had a really big fight on her hands. And she won the fight. And she is healthy. She has done it with such grace and such courage and such determination. And the way in which she fought it was astounding. Utterly astounding. She has a very big job. Not only did she fight this fight and win this fight and do it with the grace that she did, she's also gone from strength to strength in her career within the same 5-year span. And I think that is quite something. She's one of the most successful people I know professionally. And personally, watching her heal has been a privilege.
Nice.
Yeah. And it allowed us to get closer. It allowed us to understand each other better. And I'm very grateful for that. And I'm just so grateful that she's in my life and that she gets to remind me how lucky I am to have my health, that my health is my wealth. And unfortunately, I think she might always have to look over her shoulder, or that's kind of what she's been left with. But she does it with such incredible gusto. She's really inspired me to live well, to look after myself, to be grateful for the simplest of things in life.
Yeah.
Because when you don't have your health, that's the only thing you ever want.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to have her. And the third one, let's see, I did bring 3. The third one is my youngest daughter. I don't know if I'm going to get through this without crying. I probably won't. She has her challenges and she gives me those challenges. My God, does she challenge me. But she also teaches me every day the art of patience, boundaries.
Yeah.
She always pushes me to be the best mum I can be.
Yeah.
I don't know if I always get that right, but I try. And she she walks through life in a way that only she can walk through life. And there is nobody else I've ever met in my life who I want to throttle and I'm in total awe of.
Well, she's very unapologetically herself, but one could say the same about her mother.
I don't think I'm unapologetically myself.
You totally are.
Am I?
Yeah.
Well, now I've met my match then, because my God, does she push me to my limits. And sometimes that is the greatest blessing because I get to grow and evolve. And sometimes it is the hardest, darkest lesson.
But it's never boring.
She is never boring. And she, listen, she's a Sen kid. I'm not going into anything more than that. And the way in which she conducts herself and the things that she achieves and thrives in are utterly astounding with the challenges that she has. So she is my absolute muse in life.
Nice.
So they're my 3.
Love it. Clubbers, if you are enjoying this episode, then please could we ask that you share it with a friend?
Someone who you think would absolutely love this content, just share it. We would be so grateful. Thank you. So come on.
Oh my God, I've actually got I've got some, but then I've also got some honourable mentions.
Oh, honourable mentions.
Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine, I don't know what you're going to make of mine, but I realised when I was doing it, I definitely have a theme of women who inspire me. Okay, the first one I am picking, don't laugh, I'm picking Joan Collins. And do you know, I did not know this till I was looking stuff up about her a few days ago. It's her birthday today. Today. She is 91 years old.
She is not.
Yes, she is.
You know, I saw her recently in a restaurant.
And?
She is as fabulous as you would imagine.
She is fucking fabulous.
So tell me what you admire about her.
I admire her resilience. So, she's been married 5 times.
Oh, you'd have to be resilient to be married 5 times.
The first time she was married to a guy called Maxwell Reed in 1952, and she was 18, right? And the marriage only lasted for 4 years. And then after, much, much later in life, when it was kind of okay to talk about these things, she revealed that she was actually sexually assaulted by him prior to their marriage.
Oh my
but
God.
because of the guilt and the societal pressure in the 1950s, she agreed to marry him. So she basically married
Her abuser.
the guy who raped her. I know. But anyway, I just admire the fact that she did that, got through that, married 4 more men.
But was also able to love and trust again to the point that she can get married 4 times
And
again,
now
you
she's
know?
with Percy, and Percy's great, and he's much younger than her, and he's so lovely.
He's probably not that young anymore.
He's not, he's 62, but
Is
she's
he?
91.
That is
so,
amazing.
Yeah. She is a very vocal advocate for fair compensation in Hollywood, and she's done a lot of highlighting the disparities in pay between
Men and
women actors. And all of that she's done has led to a lot of broader conversations about gender equality in the entertainment industry. I just love her wit. I love her style. I love her dedication to glamour. I love her dry sense of humour. I just love everything about her. And a few years ago, we were away on holiday in the UK and we were about to go down to dinner, and there was this documentary on about the life of Joan Collins. I was late for dinner because I was so sucked in by everything she has done and achieved. She's just
great.
I just think she's amazing.
And you know what? I didn't know all that about Joan Collins, so thank you for bringing that.
And like her quotes, right? These are some of the things that she has said. And it's so true. Style is knowing your body and your physicality. Pick 2 things that are good about you and make the best of them. Love it.
What are the 2 things you're going to pick?
For me,
Yeah.
I'm always quite happy with this bit.
She's pointing to her chest.
Shoulder, sorry. It's a podcast, isn't it?
It has been for 5 years, yes.
Shoulder décolletage.
Yep.
So I'm always like, I don't mind that. Quite happy to do that.
Yep.
And what else? I mean, I don't really show off a lot of my body anymore. I don't wear revealing things anymore. But I think it's kind of about, as she says, like, know what suits you, know what works for you, and use it. Whether it's like jeans and a baseball cap or a sequin gown, just rock it.
Yeah.
I love that about her.
Yeah.
She says, we are equal in every way to men, except for in physical strength. Absolutely true. She said, I've never yet met a man who could look after me. I don't need a husband. What I need is a wife.
No, you always say that, you know.
I know.
You always, did you know that she'd said that?
I did not know. I did not know.
Because
But
there
I
are
just love
times
her.
in my life where I've been really struggling and you say, what do you need? And I give you a list of the things that I need. And you say, okay, so what you need is a wife.
Yeah. I mean, we all need a wife, right?
We all need a wife.
So she was my first. My second one is my grandmother, who died, how old am I? She died 7 years ago when I was 40. Actually quite similar to Joan Collins, minus the acting career. Like when I thought about it. Glamour always.
Yeah, I love that.
Glamour always. Red
Which
lips.
mother?
This is my father's mother.
Okay.
Red lips, Revlon red nails, outfits for outside, but then at home inside, always a velour tracksuit, way before Juicy Couture.
Right.
Heels always. She even had a pair of what she called driving heels that were white high heels that lived in her Mercedes that she only used for driving. That was like, she always wore Giorgio by Beverly Hills. That was her perfume. She had like 9 bottles on her dressing table. She always looked effortless. She was the most exceptional hostess. Her tablescaping, her cooking was effortless. She knocked everything up like it was nothing, feast upon feast, constantly. I just loved that about her. Her domestic capability combined with the endless glamour.
You're so funny.
She had I just love that.
Funny. Obviously, you had to bring someone who was like a domestic goddess. I love that.
She was. She had a really shitty childhood. She was an only child. Her father was a gambling, or I think, big drinker. And he basically abandoned her and her mother when she was 14. So she had to leave school and go and work in a stationery shop at 14. She met
That's my daughter's age.
Right. She met my grandfather when he came out of the Air Force. They were married for well over 50 years. They were obsessed with each other. She had the sexiest array of nighties and negligees I have ever seen in anyone's wardrobe.
Why would you know that?
Because I stayed over at their house all my whole childhood. He would call her my beautiful bride, even when they were in their 70s.
Oh.
It was like, and actually, now when I think about it, she really showed me a wonderful example of like a loving, long marriage. They were a wonderful example of that. So I really loved that. She was like my biggest cheerleader. She was my biggest fan. She was the first person to meet my oldest son at the hospital. She literally left her house at 8:30 in the morning to drive to hospital to be the first in the door. And she was just fucking great.
Love that. Love it.
And I found her very inspiring. Okay, these are my honourable mentions.
Okay.
Joan Rivers.
Yeah, love Joan Rivers.
One of the funniest women ever.
Love Joan Rivers. By the way, I think
Yeah.
Hacks is based on Joan Rivers.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I love Hacks.
Love Hacks.
I saw Joan Rivers live. Did you ever see her live?
No.
One of the best nights of my life. Hilarious, unashamedly herself. That's what I love about her. Barbara Streisand.
So are you, by the way.
Sometimes.
No, you are. More than you realise. Barbara Streisand.
Yeah. Do you know why? Talent combined with so notoriously difficult about getting her own way. And I do admire that.
And you read her biography.
Well, I read 400 of the 900 pages because I don't need to know every sandwich she's eaten since
Well, I've seen
1948.
Barbara Streisand live.
Yeah, I know
and she
you weren't
also
impressed,
tells
were
you
you?
about every sandwich she's ever eaten.
She's a bit of an over-talker, but hey.
But I don't want to
I
hear her.
don't want to judge her for that.
But I don't want to hear her talk.
No, you want to hear her say.
Like, if you're not going to sing Memories, I ain't interested.
Okay.
You know?
I know what you mean.
I'm here for one reason.
Also, Nora Ephron, R.I.P. She died in 2012. Talent, humour, wit, the most amazing writer of my favourite film of all time, When Harry Met Sally. Both of her books, I Feel Bad About My Neck and I Remember Nothing, are brilliant books. I just totally admire her, find her very inspiring.
Great.
So those are my women.
Love it.
They're all older.
Yeah.
Many are Jewish.
Yeah.
They're all glamorous.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's what I find inspiring.
I know. I love this.
Okay.
Great.
Maybe I'm not yet peaking. Maybe I'm going to peak at 70. That's what I'm feeling. You know what I mean? Maybe I haven't even hit my stride yet in life.
I'm speechless because
I hate aging.
this is very new.
This is very new, but now I'm like looking
Because
at
you
all these
always
women.
talk about yourself like when you're 21-year-old body and your little
I know,
midriff.
it was
and,
great.
You
It
know,
was all
that's
great.
That's
Yeah.
how you talk about yourself being at your peak.
That's how I feel on the inside, like I'm still 17.
I definitely don't feel 17. Definitely don't. I get very tired. I'm just wondering if I've peaked, if I'm going to peak. Like, I don't even know. And I don't think we can tell that yet until we're
Older.
well, lying on our deathbed wondering when we actually peaked.
But what I'm finding interesting is all these women who I find very inspiring and look up to are all much, much older than me.
Yeah.
Or
That
with
is a
us.
good thing, Lauren.
Yeah, it is a good thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Thanks. Wasn't on purpose. It's just kind of what happened.
And, you know, when I thought about the people the women that inspired me, it was really interesting who just comes to mind. And I know, listen, my friend who I spoke about, the one that runs the two schools, she's a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
She's a very big part of my life. I love my time with her. So, of course, I find her inspiring because
Yeah.
all the people that are close to me, I find them inspiring in some way.
Yeah.
But actually, when I really sat and thought about the things that she has achieved and the things that she has overcome, I thought, my God, that is one amazing woman. Women are amazing.
They really are.
Women are amazing.
They really are.
I don't know many men that could run 2 schools and be in charge of like over 600 primary school children and run a family the way she does.
Well, you know what they have? A
Wife. She doesn't have a wife.
I know she doesn't.
She doesn't have a wife.
No, she doesn't. That's why women are amazing.
That's why women are amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Should we take a break and then when we come back, we'll go through our letters?
Yeah.
Lauren, you know me, and you know when it comes to food, I trust my gut. And I also trust Zoe, the leading science and nutrition company.
All the nutritionists we've spoken to on this show have highlighted just how much misleading information is out there when it comes to food. Things like the claims that you see on packaging like low sugar and nothing artificial.
Yeah.
These are often actually a sign to avoid these foods. Ever noticed a health claim on fresh fruit?
No!
Well, then you get my point.
It's completely understandable why there's a lot of distrust and wondering who you should turn to for accurate information.
Well, it's simple. We use Zoe.
Backed by one of the world's largest microbiome databases and most scientifically advanced at-home gut health tests, Zoe gives you proven science whenever you need it.
Go to Zoe.com and find out what Zoe membership could do for you. And because you listen to Self Care Club Clubbers, you can use the exclusive code SELFCARE10 at checkout to get 10% off membership. As a Zoe member, you'll get an at-home test kit and personalised nutrition programme to help you make smarter food choices that support your gut. That's ZOE.com. Use code SELFCARE10 at checkout. Trust your gut. Trust Zoe.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Coffee Mate. After watching this season of the HBO's original series, The White Lotus, this is the tropical getaway I needed. One more pina colada, please.
Hey, you're not on mute.
Oh, I thought I was in paradise. Turns out, it was my coffee mate. Coffee Mate Pina Colada and Thai iced coffee flavored creamers. Inspired by the newest season of HBO's original series, The White Lotus. For the love of coffee. Try now.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Okay, so we've written a letter to our 17-year-old selves.
I was a bit resistant about this, wasn't I?
You're like, I don't want to write my letter. I don't want to write my letter. Who have you written it? Why we have to be 17? Who agreed that?
Yeah, but who did agree that?
We agreed it together.
We didn't.
Okay, you said I imagined it on my own, but I swear we agreed
you did.
it. Well, it's a good point in time because it's precisely 30 years ago, which is a long time.
Well, it's not because it's precisely 30 years ago. It's actually me for it's 31.
It's 31 for you.
But
Okay.
also, I guess you're on the cusp of adulthood.
Yes.
Aren't you? You're not a child anymore.
And you're not quite a woman.
Well, you are a woman.
You're a young woman.
I have a daughter who's about to turn 17. She is definitely a young woman.
I would call her a young woman, but not a woman, but a young woman.
Yes.
Yes. You're on the cusp of a lot of things at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you? Just give us a brief overview of where you were at when you were 17.
I was at school doing my A-levels. I was at school doing my A-levels. Yeah. That's where I was at. I had a horrible boyfriend.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. And any idea of who you were and what you were into and, just a rough idea?
I was like...
Were you as warm and fluffy then as you are now?
I was quite Marmite. People either really loved me or really didn't like me. So,
Are you still Marmite?
I think so.
Are you?
I think so. I kind of was coasting my way through my A-levels. I was doing everything, the bare minimum that I needed to do because I really wanted to spend my time
with your horrible boyfriend.
With my horrible boyfriend, or smoking Marlboro Lights on the corner, or going out, or staying up till 3 a.m. watching telly. I mean, what's changed? Not a lot.
Well, you don't smoke Marlboro Lights on the corner.
I do stay up till 3 a.m. watching
and
shit
you don't
telly.
have a horrible boyfriend.
No, I don't. But, effectively I was the same. So I was like on the surface quite a good girl, but secretly not so good.
Okay.
Let's put it that way. Like surface-wise, very, very good girl, but not really. As in, like, now, Ollie tells my mum stories of when I was 17 that I've told him. And my mum's like, don't be ridiculous, Lauren would never do that. Of course I did it. But she never believed it of me because I was such
You're good like that.
Yeah.
You're surprisingly good like that.
Subversive, secretly subversive.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favourite things about you.
It started young.
Yeah.
Secretly subversive.
Yeah.
And you? Where were you at 17?
I was at 17. Had I gone out to work? I was either studying hairdressing or I was working in hairdressing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd got my first job and I was training to be a hairdresser. I just got my first job. I was also with my first boyfriend and he also wasn't very nice to me. Must be something about being 17. I don't know. I hope that's changed for young women now. And I was loving life because school wasn't amazing for me. And I was really starting to come into my own. I was starting to learn my craft, which I fell in love with, which was hairdressing. I was in my creative element. I was learning about myself. I had freedom, independence. I was in love. I mean, it was a good time for me.
I fucking loved being 17. Also, looks-wise, I would say most similar to Melanie Blatt from the All Saints. That was the general vibe.
I think, but that was the fashion.
Very low-slung cargos.
Yeah.
You couldn't have any pubes because they'd pick up over the top. Crop tops, bleached blonde, bleached at the front, dark at the back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pierced belly button.
Yeah, the lot.
Marlboro Lights.
Yeah.
That was the look.
Yeah, it's a great
look.
look.
That was the vibe.
It's the All
Do you know
Saints
what?
look.
It was a great look.
It was a great look.
Yeah.
You want to do that now?
I mean,
Maybe we should do a week of being our 17-year-old selves.
I mean, I wore very little clothing. I would go clubbing in like a mesh top, but with no bra at all. So it was just like full on here they are. Let's go to the West End. Imagine going to the West End now with your actual breasts on display. Now
That's not safe. Did your parents know?
Come on, did my parents? Of course they didn't know. Obviously not. Well, I wasn't on my own.
If one of my girls did that, they would be grounded for months.
I had like a chiffon.
It's just not safe
I
to do that.
had a chiffon camo crop top, and I just used to wear it with no bra because who needed a bra then anyway?
I always needed a bra.
Oh, I never needed a bra.
Lucky you.
You know what? Life was good. Life was sweet at 17. It really was. It was such fun.
Let's hear your letter.
Okay, this is my letter. Dear Lauren, I know you're 17 and very busy having fun and you don't want to spend time talking to a middle-aged woman, so I'll keep it brief. Today is our 47th birthday, 30 years in the future. Yes, we are that old and it's not as awful as you imagine.
You actually wrote this on your birthday?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I thought it was a good day to
very
write
sweet
it.
and mildly tragic.
Okay.
You spent your birthday working.
Only for half an hour.
Okay.
Here is the headline. It all turns out okay. In fact, it all turns out pretty good. You have a blessed life, so carry on being that carefree, loud, outspoken spirit that you are. And don't worry so much. This is what you need to know. True love will find you young. He will know immediately that you are the one. Believe him. Please.
You did.
I did. Please have plenty of fun now whilst you can and don't take any of it too seriously. Say yes to all the boys who are asking you out and stop hanging out with the one who is breaking your heart over and over.
Yeah.
It is not what love looks like. And I'm sorry to tell you, but you do need telling. You need to have some self-respect around it. You deserve better. And I promise you, you're going to have it. So let it go. Yes, it's going to be painful. And yes, you'll get over it. Don't close off your heart. You do not need to be the tough guy forever. Don't get too worried or despondent about the baby thing. It's going to be a bit of a roller coaster, but you are going to be a mum of 3 perfect, beautiful sons who will be your greatest joy and your proudest achievements. And I know it sounds mental, but you're even going to enjoy giving birth to them so much, you will make a 16-year career out of helping other women to give birth to. Don't buy the pink baby clothes in LA. You are never going to need them. That big mouth of yours, the one that gets you in trouble all the time and that makes your dad nickname you Motor Mouth, is going to serve you very well. Just when you feel like you're coming to the end of one career, you're going to start a whole new one where you talk for a living. You're going to feel like you are finally doing exactly what you were always supposed to do, and you will laugh a lot. You're also going to fulfill your lifelong ambition to write a book. Some last tips. You will not remain a skinny size 8, so wear all the crop tops and all the short skirts and flaunt it all while you still have it.
That's a good tip.
It really is. Marlboro Lights and Quarter Pounders are not a great staple diet. This is all going to end in a couple of years, so enjoy it whilst you can binge on both and look like that. Trust your instincts. They will never let you down. Keep the faith on the driving tests. You will pass. That fantasy you used to have about a machine that you can use to zap away body hair will actually be invented. You have great nails. Do not get acrylics. Remember how fearless and adventurous...
I actually can't believe your life tips are about laser,
this is
hair
serious
removal,
shit, right?
and acrylic
It
tips.
is. Remember how fearless and adventurous you are now. Keep that for as long as you can. Stand up for yourself a little more. Don't let anybody intimidate you or bully you. It is okay to speak up. And let me just save you a lot of time and tell you now, Russian Red by MAC is your perfect red lipstick. That is my letter. I really wish I'd read that at 17. I would have found it so helpful.
But would you? You wouldn't have listened to. You would have listened to the Russian red bit. That would have been about it.
So true. So true.
That was brilliant. Brilliant.
Thanks.
Very light. I love it.
Thanks.
And also very in keeping with telling a 17-year-old. Like
Yeah.
you've kept it in that. I kind of haven't done that.
Okay.
Okay. So mine is this. So here we find ourselves together, one being the wiser older woman, apparently, and one being a bright, fun-loving party girl with her whole life ahead of her. What could they possibly teach one another? Firstly, I want you to know you live a fulfilling life, full of health, happiness, love, family, friendship, and many passions. And nourishing those relationships is the most important element of your life. The people around you shape you. Please choose wisely and intentionally. Some of the key moments that shape you haven't happened yet, like heartbreak, gut-wrenching, soul-destroying, can't function heartbreak. It happens twice, it's awful, and it is the only time that you will ever lose your appetite. But you will appreciate its lessons as it teaches you the importance of loving with your whole heart. And even when that heart gets smashed to pieces, it not only mends, but it has the ability to love wholly and fully again. The difficulties throughout your 20s may be hard to reconcile, but they lead you to Adam, your home, and you sense it the minute you meet him. You have two feisty, loud, vivacious girls together and start building a beautiful, chaotic, full life. You will find motherhood the most challenging role and the most rewarding, and that doesn't change. You struggle to do it all, be it all, manage it all, and not get weighed down by the expectations put on women. The balance between motherhood and pursuing your career remains a constant challenge. Balance does come, and so will your time, but stay present when they are little. Those words of the days are long, but the years are short is so very true.
Oh, it's so true.
It's so true.
It's so true, my God.
But you can't appreciate that when they're little.
No.
You change careers and find new passion projects. You win awards and write a book. You are capable of doing and achieving things you didn't know you were capable of. Never doubt yourself. Here are a few life lessons I want you to take away. Your health is your wealth. One day, the most fun you will have comes from taking care of yourself. Moving your body, getting enough sleep, and eating well will light you up more than you know possible. Surround yourself with people who make you smile and inspire you to be better. Don't wait for permission. You don't need it. The only person's permission you will ever need is yours. Be kind to yourself. The world is waiting to pull you down. Don't do that to yourself. Love and respect yourself always. Live a life of integrity. Be true to your word and trust your moral compass. It will never steer you wrong. Don't people please. It exhausts you and diminishes you. Allow yourself to shine bright. You serve nobody when you shrink. And finally, life is here to be lived. Live it well, live it truthfully, and live it for you.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. How did you find the process of writing the letter?
Very easy, quick, natural, swift, like not a problem. And you?
I mean, once I got myself into the mindset, it was pretty, yeah.
Yeah. But
It just like flows out of you.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you were like, oh my God, why did you do that on your birthday? But I had like an hour in the afternoon where I wasn't doing anything. And I was like, I've got to write this letter. Oh, okay, I'm in the mood now. And I just wrote it.
There was something very cathartic and healing about it. Not that I did it it wasn't like a healing practice to do, but there was something where like, okay, it's great to see how far I've come, who I was then versus who I am now. It's a great macro view of yourself.
It is, yeah.
And I would actually encourage anyone to do it.
I would too, actually. Maybe that's our homework for International Women's Day. Write a letter to your younger self.
What do you mean? Maybe that was
okay. That's our homework. No, to the clubbers.
Oh, to the clubs. I'm like, that's what we've just done.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, we used to do Challenge of the Week, didn't we? Yeah, there you go. We're bringing it back. Challenge of the Week, clubbers. Write a letter to yourself. It's actually really enjoyable.
It's really fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. And if you would like to send them to us, then we'd love to read. Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh, that would be really sweet.
We'd love to read them.
Yeah.
So that's our show on International Women's Day.
I've enjoyed this International Women's Day.
So have I. Happy International Women's Day, everybody.
Yeah.
Go out there, stay amazing, be amazing, and never doubt yourself.
Love it.
You love that?
Love it.
We'll be back next week.
Bye.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host. You seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience in their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's LIBSYN, ads.com today.